The night was silent. No stars spoke, no wind answered. Jacob stood alone by the river Jabbok, surrounded by darkness and fear. For the first time in his life, he couldn't run. Behind him was his past, a life of deception. Ahead of him was his future, his brother Esau, the man he betrayed. Jacob had always been a fighter, born gripping his brother's heel. His name meant supplanter. He traded stew for a birthright, deceived his blind father, and stole the blessing meant for another. Now Esau was coming with 400 men. Fear ruled his heart, so he sent everyone away, until only one remained, Jacob, alone with God. And in the darkness a man appeared. All night they wrestled, a silent, desperate struggle of body and spirit. Jacob, the supplanter, was finally supplanted. He held on. Through pain and exhaustion, his hip wrenched from its socket. "I will not let you go unless you bless me," Jacob gasped as dawn broke. The man looked at him. "Your name is no longer Jacob," he said. "It is Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men and have overcome." And he blessed him there. As the sun rose, Israel limped to face his future. He saw Esau coming, not with anger but with tears. The brother he had wronged ran to meet him. They embraced, they wept. The fight was over. The stolen blessing was returned with a brother's love. Jacob the deceiver had wrestled with God and man, and through his struggle he had finally found his own blessing, not stolen but earned, not taken by force but received in grace. The river flowed quietly beside him. The silence was heavy. Jacob prayed, not boldly but desperately, "God of Abraham, God of Isaac, deliver me." Then suddenly someone grabbed him, no warning, no words. A man emerged from the darkness. Jacob fought back instantly. Bodies slammed into the dirt. Feet slipped on the riverbank. Fists clenched in desperation. This was no ordinary fight. The stranger was powerful, yet silent. Every move felt intentional. Every escape felt allowed. Jacob had wrestled people his entire life, but this fight was different. It wasn't about dominance, it was about identity. And the struggle lasted all night. Hour after hour, breath after breath, until Jacob realized this man wasn't trying to defeat him, he was revealing him. As the first light of dawn touched the horizon, the stranger struck Jacob's hip, sending a shock of pain through his body. Crippled but not defeated, Jacob clung on with a strength he didn't know he had. "I will not let you go unless you bless me," he gasped. The man stilled. His voice, heard for the first time, was like the river itself, calm and powerful. "What is your name?" In that moment, everything stopped. To say his name was to confess everything. "Jacob," he whispered, "the supplanter, the deceiver." "Your name shall no longer be Jacob," the man declared, "but Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men, and have overcome." And there, as the sun rose over the river, he blessed him. The man was gone. Jacob stood alone, limping but whole. The sun's rays warmed his face. He named the place Peniel, the face of God. "For I have seen God face to face," he said in awe, "and my life is preserved." He looked up, and in the distance he saw them, Esau and his 400 men. But the fear was gone. He walked forward, bowing 7 times, not in terror, but in humility. And then the unthinkable happened. Esau ran, not to attack, but to embrace. The brother he had betrayed held him and wept. In that moment, the fight was truly over. Jacob had wrestled for a blessing his whole life, only to find it not in deception, but in surrender. He was no longer the man who ran, but the man who had faced God and found grace on the other side of fear. As dawn approached, Jacob's strength faded. Then with a single touch, the stranger struck Jacob's hip. Pain exploded. His hip was dislocated instantly. No struggle, no effort, just a touch. Jacob collapsed to the ground. And suddenly he understood. This man could have ended the fight at any moment. Jacob wasn't wrestling to win. He was wrestling because he was afraid to let go. The stranger spoke for the first time. "Let me go, for the day is breaking." But Jacob, broken and limping, clung tighter. "I will not let you go unless you bless me." This was no longer a physical fight. "What is your name?" Jacob answered, voice trembling. "Jacob, the deceiver, the struggler, the man who grasped for control." To say his name was to confess it all. The stolen birthright, the stolen blessing, a lifetime of running, a lifetime of being Jacob. There was a profound silence. The first rays of sun crested the horizon. Then the voice came again, not with judgment but with power. "Your name will no longer be Jacob," the man declared, "but Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men and have overcome." And as the light washed over the riverbank, he blessed him there. And then he was gone. Jacob stood, his body broken, but his spirit remade. He named the place Peniel, the face of God. For he had seen God face to face, and his life was preserved. As the sun rose, he looked up. Esau was coming, the fear was gone. With each painful, limping step, he walked to meet his brother, bowing low, not in fear, but in humility. And he saw Esau running, not with a sword, but with open arms. The brother he had wronged, the man he had feared, threw his arms around his neck and wept. The war was over. The blessing Jacob had wrestled for his entire life was finally his, not taken by force, but given in grace. He was no longer Jacob, the supplanter. He was Israel, the one who walked with a limp, forever marked by the grace of a fight he had lost, and in losing had won everything. Then the stranger said, "Your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel. For you have struggled with God and with men and have prevailed." Jacob didn't win by overpowering God. He prevailed by refusing to walk away. Jacob asked, "Please tell me your name." But the stranger did not answer. Instead, he blessed him, and then he vanished. The sun rose over the river Jabbok. Jacob stood alone again, but everything had changed. He walked with a limp now, a permanent reminder of that night. Jacob named the place Peniel, saying, "I have seen God face to face, and yet my life was spared." He didn't leave stronger, he left transformed. And as he looked up, he saw him, Esau, and 400 men with him. The moment he had feared for 20 years was finally here. The old Jacob would have run. The old Jacob would have devised a scheme. But this was not Jacob, this was Israel. He walked forward to meet his past, his limp a rhythm of surrender with every step. He bowed once, twice. 7 times he bowed to the brother he had wronged. Then the unthinkable happened. Esau ran. He ran past his men, past his anger, past 20 years of resentment. He threw his arms around his brother's neck and he wept. In that embrace, the fight was finally over. The blessing Jacob had stolen as a young man was nothing compared to the one he received now, the blessing of forgiveness. He had wrestled with God and man, and by losing had won. He had let go of his old name.